So please welcome to the show, Aaron Tan.
Hey, hi Tjibaria.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you, great, thanks.
So, as you guys have known, we've been talking a lot about the educational system and about a lot of different things that currently are not seen as too good. And so a lot of people say that the educational system is messed up. However, obviously because it's important to look at things from a lot of different sides, I'm so grateful to have you on the show and to have you, someone who is actually very actively teaching like all the people at the universities and to really be able to come from this business background and then being able to do support the younger generation and to really educate them to become the best versions of themselves.
Of course.
Like maybe you can say a little bit about what it is that you do at the university and then talk about your experience there.
Okay, sure. So what I do at the university is I was brought in to talk about entrepreneurship, business creation, and those are the modules that I teach.
Yeah.
I also teach things about operations, marketing, strategy. So a whole raft of things really, but bringing my experience from the business world, both in corporates and in the entrepreneurial side, and applying it and giving the theory some context, which I think is key.
Yeah, and also like one of the real cool things about university, and I follow your stories all the time on Instagram. By the way, make sure to follow this guy; he's amazing. But people always say, or your students always say, like you're the best teacher, you're the best lecturer at the university, like ever. And I think it's also the way how you speak and the way how you educate your different students is in a very lively way. And I just want to ask you, like, what is your perspective on the way within the university that you are obviously active, the way how people are educating the younger generation? Because a lot of the time, I remember from going to university, sometimes it can be really, as you're like yawning, and you bring a very lively atmosphere. So what are your views on that?
I think it's definitely an issue which you rightfully raised, and there is a shift in, especially at the university that I'm teaching at. Whereas, not meaning to brag, but I'm going to anyway. After the first year of teaching, I was asked to teach the teachers how to teach.
Oh, amazing!
So that was really cool. And ultimately, you can say it's always down to the individual, and to an extent it's true. But I believe there's a couple of things that if teachers in any capacity learn to do, their students can get so much more. For example, engaging with the students or the audience, asking questions, ask their views. Because if you just talk, you're like sleep.
Bullet point.
Get my bullet point.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then what happens is that the receptors, the glass is basically upside down, and they can't receive anything. So by simply engaging the students, the audience, they just learn so much more. They learn in a much more effective way.
Yeah, that's really cool. And with regards to like this issue that's being raised a lot in the entrepreneurial world by so many influencers saying that the educational system is completely broken. What would you say to people that say those things?
I can see why they say it. Okay, but the truth is, education isn't purely about knowledge. It's about the skills you acquire during the acquisition of that knowledge. So be it networking with your classmates, your peers, simply asking for help. It's so underrated because people, and I see it all the time, students struggle, business people struggle, and all they have to do is ask. Just ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't have so much pride too. You have to do it on your own.
Yeah, just swallow it. Because the reality is, in my businesses, I can't do everything myself. You have to ask for help. Learning to analyze things, learning to evaluate things. That's what education is about. It's not, yes, there's some content, of course there is, but it's the application of that content and the context of that content, which is important. And I think it's very easy to just say the education system is broken, and to an extent it is, because you're all tested on the same merit and people learn in different ways. Be it immersive experience, be it I don't know, by doing, by reading, by listening. And I think, and this is the great thing about the University of Greenwich, is one of the things that I've been able to implement is a more immersive assessment method. So they actually have to go create a business and create a business plan. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, and if you look at your students, right, and the different things that they are doing, how do you feel that how they are being completely fresh and new to business, as opposed to like what you've seen in your long time in business with different business partners or different entrepreneurs as well, like with a lot of the different things that we've come to know each other in different entrepreneurial settings. There's so many people who want to go into business and have these high hopes, and they feel like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the stats don't lie, like 90% of businesses fail within the first few years. But what do you see, like with all the students that you're teaching, how is their spirit, and how are they basically approaching this whole entrepreneurial life?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I mean, you get two types of students. One that want to go into a career, which is fine because that's for them, and one that want to start business, which is fine too.
Yeah.
That's their choice.
Yeah.
The ones that want to go for an entrepreneurial side, I think, again falls into two things.
Yeah.
Some of them are very cautious because a lot of people who teach, especially at university, don't have experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's a large part of, by the time of their 3 years, they think, do I really want to do this? There's that cautious optimism, and then you get those who are just like, let's do it now. Why am I here? I don't know, let's do it now.
Just say yes.
So yeah, but I think compared to the entrepreneurs of when we were growing up, we sound old.
Very old, yes.
Yes.
Oh, very long time ago.
when we were growing up, there's always like, you have to do this, you have to do this. Whereas now it's less about the steps, and of course finance is important, of course it is, of course research is important. Yeah. But everybody knows how to do this. Like teaching somebody how to brush their teeth.
Yeah.
You know how to do it. So it's more about exploring the ideas, and that's what's enthusiastic to them. And then when you're able to connect with why they need to do their research, why they need to do the finance to their idea, they appreciate it so much more. So that's the difference.
Cool. That's really cool. And do you also see students that go for this business model, that they actually want to set up their own business? Are they okay? Got this.
Okay.